Merry Christmas, damn it! This is Matt on the Moon Family Sedan channel, bringing you this final holiday entry on the Moon Family Sedan channel. And I want to warn you that fake Toshi is trying to ruin Christmas currently. That's right, Dr. Craig S. Wright, who is a fake Satoshi Nakamoto, has been discredited by pretty much everybody in the entire world of crypto, is bashing Ripple and is bashing XRP, saying things that are blatantly false. But would you expect anything less from fake Toshi? Fake Satoshi Nakamoto. And damn it, on Christmas no less. And so this is a follow-up to a video I put out yesterday where I shared a prediction made by David Schwartz, who of course is Ripple's CTO and co-creator of XRP and the XRP ledger. And his prediction was that he thinks in the future, like if you fast forward even less than a decade, proof of work is probably, and I'm kind of paraphrasing here now, but mostly going to be dead. Maybe you have one that survives, and he said he hopes that it's not Bitcoin. And so and that all stemmed from some stuff that fake Toshi had to say. And so anyway, I'm going to catch you up to speed here and share the latest. This is the only thing I'm discussing in this video. This is just a little additional one before I go and visit family. I wasn't planning on recording another one, but I came across this and I was like, all right, let's talk about this nonsense. This is completely ridiculous. You're trying to ruin Christmas, and I do not appreciate it, damn it. Before going further, though, I want to be clear, I am not a financial advisor. I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, so you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. And so just so you can understand the caliber of individual we're working with here, you can take a look at this headline from CoinDesk. Craig Wright, Satoshi proofs not credible and a farce. Huddle not, lawyers say. And I don't want to go through the whole article, but just to give you a taste of how ridiculous this guy is, in pretending to be Satoshi Nakamoto, he actually drafted fake copies of an earlier draft of what was ultimately the final version of the real Bitcoin white paper. That's right. So to prove that he's Satoshi Nakamoto, he took the original Bitcoin white paper and then altered it and changed it so that it looked like it was an incomplete draft, and then he was passing it off as proof that he did it. And so here you can see there's a screen grab of this draft dated, it looks like it was May 1st, 2008, and you may recall that it wasn't until, I believe it was the end of October of 2009 when the Bitcoin white paper was released, if memory serving me here. And look at what he did. I don't even read it. I'll just tell you what was covered here. And the reason I wanted to highlight this is because it just highlights just how much of a fraud this guy is. In this draft, he accidentally has two different fonts for the year 2008. You can see, for those of you looking, you can see these zeros look different. One of the fonts that was used didn't exist during the time that this was allegedly written. The font didn't exist in 2008. The font was created after that, yet it's in a draft that is allegedly from 2008. Do you see what we're working with here? This guy is he's just forging fake Bitcoin white papers, and then he's saying crap now on Christmas about Ripple and XRP, calling it a scam when he's an outright fraud. Sued into oblivion, disgraced, just completely discredited. That's who we're working with here. And here's his website. That's him on your screen right there. You can see he's still saying he's creator of Bitcoin, Satoshi Nakamoto. Okay. So there's this thread, and it left off yesterday, and I shared this yesterday, where David Schwartz wrote, "This is so dumb for so many reasons," and he's talking about a separate tweet from Craig Wright, which I don't want to rehash for this video. And then David Schwartz says, "Why are institutional investors the target market for peer-to-peer digital cash? And which jurisdictions should have their court orders respected?" And again, that is what ultimately led to David Schwartz saying, delivering his prediction in terms of what's blockchain going to look like in the future as it pertains to proof of work. Now, Dr. Craig S. Wright, fake Toshi, he didn't take so kindly to David Schwartz. This guy's so freaking awful. So Craig Wright retweeted that from David Schwartz and said the following: "I guess Mr. Schwartz is in for a hard lesson. It seems he doesn't understand how finance works or that people invest in commodities. Next, he has no idea about the legal frameworks and structures that allow for court orders to be perfected across jurisdictions. Then, he never really understood Bitcoin." Pause. We got to pause right there. David Schwartz is one of the earliest developers of the Bitcoin blockchain. He was working on it way back in the day. Back in like 2011. I don't know if he was in 2010, but certainly back in 2011. He may have been in 2010. I can't recall exactly when he started. But either way, the point is if you're in that area, like you're a super mega early adopter of this technology. He's really excited by it. I thought it was really cool. And he's sure as hell, he's a genius, literally understands blockchain, literally created a blockchain, XRP, on the XRP ledger. Yeah, he gets it. So here's Craig Wright just saying another thing that obviously isn't true, to anybody who knows anything can see through this, that this is an outright lie. But happy to call him out on my platform because this is a garbage human. And then he says, he has no qualifications or experience in institutional investment banking. He has no understanding of qualifications in law. So we can easily forgive his ignorance against this topic and ones that are related to it. Oh my God, this is ridiculous. Do I need to bash that any further? Holy shit. Then he says, unfortunately, so-called experts like Mr. Schwartz like to exceed their very, very limited area of expertise. He is also so far from understanding anything to do with Bitcoin that he thinks Ripple is related to a blockchain in some way. Oh my freaking God. And so, and by the way, he is one of the people here that does conflate Ripple and XRP. So it gets confusing. Like, we can't even speak the same language with people like this. This guy is a fraud. He's lying. He's been exposed. And my gosh, Ripple is a company, not a blockchain. The only way you could say that they're related to a blockchain, and that's literally, like, that is the wrong way to word it, but even if you were trying to word it like that sloppily, the only thing you could possibly mean is that they're utilizing blockchain technology in some of their proprietary software that is not blockchain related, like RippleNet, which is a messaging system for financial institutions. And then Fake Toshi says, then again, he designed XRP, the most useless pump and dump scheme in this entire industry. There you go. And we know the degree to which XRP and the XRP ledger is decentralized. We understand that Ripple doesn't have any special permissions under it. We understand it's been around, traded for close to a decade at this point. And there are just tons of developers building on top of the XRP ledger. We know all of this. And I don't know if Craig knows that, Fake Toshi here knows that or doesn't know that. He could know that and then is deceiving, or he may not know that, and then he's just a whiny, useless, ignorant individual. Either way, it doesn't matter. It's terrible what he's doing either way here. And pump and dump scheme, XRP is just moving in tandem with the rest of the market, which is another provable fact. What do you mean pump and dump scheme? For a decade? What are you talking about? Now, this is where David Schwartz did jump in, and he said, at least I don't abuse the legal system to silence my critics and steal. Now that, yeah, and so that's part of what was covered in that CoinDesk article. I just didn't want to run through the whole thing, but he just likes to sue people who say that he's, how dare you deny whether or not this individual is Satoshi Nakamoto, with all of his fake fonts that didn't exist when he allegedly wrote the earlier drafts of the Bitcoin white paper. My God, it's so ridiculous. Then Fake Toshi jumps in and says, well, in fact, you are lying when you're talking about XRP being used and how it is a cross-border bridge between systems, when you fail to mention how the platform isn't really deployed anywhere but is rather in paid trials. Folks, the pilot version of on-demand liquidity, which was then known as XRapid, the pilot version ended in the day that the official version was launched, which was early October of 2018. Now, in terms of paid trials, there have been instances where, for adoption's sake, and this is done with all sorts of technology and all sorts of unrelated industries, there can be financial incentives, but there are all sorts of firms now that are not getting financial incentives to jump in and be a part of on-demand liquidity. Like iRemit, they publicly stated, they filed in court, they were not paid anything to use on-demand liquidity. They just think that it helps their business. They know it helps their business, and as a result of their customers. So he's outright lying here, but you're seeing a trend like this guy is just garbage out of his mouth, just spewing. He's happy to just say X number of things that are untrue. This is an individual is not to be respected in any regard. This is a trash human. And so talking about, David Schwartz and Ripple lying about XRP being, are you kidding me? There are dozens of, so what, are they all in on this gigantic fraud for some reason? Where there's dozens of customers of Ripple that say they're using on-demand liquidity, but they're not actually using it? Are you asserting something like that? Because that would be absurd. Like, if you want to come right out to that degree and say it, go ahead, but this is ridiculous. Now, David Schwartz not really taking the bait here, which I respect. And I mean, if he wanted to respond to the actual points, I'm doing that. I would have no problem with that. But I'm just saying the fact that he's not taking the bait, but he's still responding, I still respect that. And then David Schwartz says, you are fortunate that I'm not the kind of despicable coward who would sue someone for sharing their opinion of me. Because, obviously that's what Fake Toshi's been doing. And then Fake Toshi says, there is an interesting little defense to what I'm saying in defamation. It's called truth. XRP and your firm would sue me if it wasn't what I'm talking truth. If it wasn't that I'm talking truth. If it wasn't for the fact that your failed protocol would be exposed before you fail in court, you would sue. I don't know if they will or won't, but you shouldn't expect them to. You're just a little fly on the wall. You're owed a lawsuit. You're nothing. I mean, if Ripple wants to do it, fine. They can go right on ahead and they can sue you into oblivion. That's fine. But like, why would you think? Because there's so many people saying nonsense about XRP the world over, and you get special attention. Like, this guy thinks so highly of himself. I'm telling you. And then David Schwartz says, fortunately, I'm not the kind of despicable coward who would sue. He just like, similar comment here. Fortunately, I'm not the kind of despicable coward who would sue someone who couldn't afford to raise a defense of truth. There you go. And it's true. It's absolutely true. And then somebody named Fried Chicken Finance responded to Fake Toshi and said, XRP can't sue you. Because actually, I slightly got ahead. Dr. Wright, Fake Toshi said, there is an interesting little defense to what I'm saying in defamation. Oh, I did read that one. Okay, I'm sorry. My mistake. So Fried Chicken Finance said, XRP can't sue you. It's a decentralized public blockchain, not an entity. And then Fake Toshi responded and said, you really don't understand how this system works, do you? No, the Ripple people run it. They control the code. They issue the updates. They set the policies. Why do you just trust what some fool tells you? Do you need a cult that much? So there you go. If you're listening to this and you like XRP, you're in a cult, says Fake Toshi. What a wise individual, right? And of course, we know that Ripple has no special permissions over the XRP blockchain. They control like 2, 3, 4%, whatever, of validating nodes. We know this as well. This is all publicly available information that can be verified. We know that Ripple has, put in at least one instance, pushed for an amendment change. And the XRP community at large didn't agree with Ripple, didn't think it made sense, and it was voted down. This is because Ripple doesn't have any special controls. They didn't get what they wanted. That's proof of that. Now, David Schwartz did retweet that one from Fake Toshi and said, all of these things involve us convincing other people to make changes. None of them involve us exercising any rights, legal or otherwise. Exactly. So Ripple, they can push for the things that they think make sense, especially for their use of XRP and the XRP ledger, just like any active participant can. Like you can campaign for the efforts, whatever effort you want that you think would benefit you and hopefully the broader XRP community. But you can do that. Ripple does that, and others do that. Others have proposed amendments, and they can start their own campaign and push for those. But you can't force it through. So there we go. You have Fake Toshi trying to ruin Christmas. Just thought I'd highlight that, but I'll go ahead and wrap up here. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the Moon Family Sedan.